Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It is your Capes Crusader, Cody, and we are keeping it geekly with our returning friend, DC Horn. We're here to break down Once Upon a Time in Xanatopia, issue number 2, his current Kickstarter, and a couple other awesome projects that are in the works. DC, how are you doing? Welcome back, man.
Hey, thank you for having me, and I'm here under false pretense. I'm actually here to promote Mario Kiru Destroy the Moon. We have the book here. You can search for him on Twitter. You got that. I'm also here to promote Tyrant Fall, The Elements, Godslayer.
You know, I got my copy of Godslayer not too long ago, too, yeah.
Yeah, I dug through my Kickstarter list. Final Boy.
So it's funny because I had Brandon on like 10 interviews ago. I had the writer of Godslayer. That was my like 15th interview, and then I have Final Boy. We have him coming on in September. So it's like almost every single one you held up like has been on the show. That is so awesome.
yeah. I got more. We got like Night Wraith. Yeah.
Daniel's been on twice.
Dude, El Crudo.
He's been on too, Manny.
We got your boy here. I mean,
yeah. Do you just have like a discography, like a short box, people who's been on Keeping It Geekly? So like out of like all those comics, one hasn't been on. What's going on here? But hey, enough of all of that. You are the man of the hour. Who are you? Give us a little recap of who you are. And, some of your earliest works in the indie comic scene.
I'm DC. I'm late to the game on this one. We've been working on comic book for about a year and a half. We just started promoting it about 4 or 5 months ago. We've wrote 7 issues of it, and we've been on Global Comics. We've just been slowly trying to build an audience. And, that's just me.
So what all have you worked on, though? Give us some titles, give us some projects.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, Once Upon a Xanatopia, that's sort of our flagship. That's the main thing that we're really trying to work and promote on. I've been working on this very weird project, and I don't know. I've had a lot of trouble trying to figure out how to really put it out there, called Dynasty Pop Presents, which is just a collection of short stories, really weird, off the wall. We talked earlier. We got a cat, goat, dog. Intern is another one, Too Many Eyes, and a bunch of little like 1-page short comic strip stuff that's sort of meant to be this Monty Python's Flying Circus inspired anthology comic book. That's been going on in the background. We have several of those done, but I'm holding them because I don't really know how to present that yet.
I really like them. It would almost, dude. There's so much possibility with it too, because there's like so much in it. Like you could take each of those and like put like a single one on Twitter, like every other day to promote it. Like, cause like, dude, they're short, sweet, to the point. I love like the dad jokes. You are a total dad in like every single one of them.
Yeah, I can't run away from it. I just am.
Like,
and see, other than that, what I've been doing, I've been working on I Have Questions, a nice little fun interview program I've been doing on Global Comics, where I interview small global comic creators about titles that I really love.
No, yeah, I remember when we first chatted, I had no idea that you were involved with like doing podcasts, like interviews. Like that is so cool, man. So give us a little bit more about that. Like, how's that been going for you? How many episodes have you done?
Yeah. When I was on here last, like I didn't know what to talk about. It was one of those things like I knew I had the Kickstarter, so I was trying to keep it very like in point. But like, was I supposed to talk about the other projects or not? So I was,
I was new too. We were both bashful, being around the bush, like.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But yeah, on I Have Questions, I think we have done 5. The 6th one will be out next Wednesday. It's a great title I really love, called Wanderlust. I'm really excited to get that put out there. That's a really cool title on Global Comics. But yeah, we've done several. We've done, Bigfoot Knows Karate. A really fun book. We've done like Stokes Decay, Roselith's Division 5, Take All You Can. By Charlie D. Van. It's another great one. I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but Yeah, I've been finding this creators on Global Comics who have a title I really like, and I just reach out to them and get to talk about their comic. It's
That's so
enjoyable.
cool. Yeah, interviewing is like it's like a whole different world, right? To flip it around and kind of scratch someone else's like creative mind.
Well, it's really cool to talk to someone about something that they're very happy to talk about. Because a lot of times, when you are talking to somebody, it's forced, or it's when you talk to somebody about their comic, they're always really happy, they're excited, they're interested, and I guess I can kind of energy vampire some of that off of them.
All right. We talking like Queen of the Damned, or we talking Lost Boys?
Probably more like What We Do in the Shadows.
Ooh, okay. All right. Hey, but let's spin this around and let's pivot back. No, you're good. Let's pivot back to Once Upon a Time in Xanatopia. So, what's this comic about? What type of comic are we going to see? What type of protagonist? And who's your creative team involved?
I'm really excited about promoting issue 2, Once Upon a Time in Xanatopia, because we really get to showcase David Swanson, who does the art, the exterior, as well as the interior. And man, I think one of the reviews we got talks about how this was his comic just to let loose. It's there's not a whole lot of words. I mean, obviously I wrote it, but like I don't go dialogue heavy. We really let David Swanson just breathe and just have fun with this very action-packed issue. The overall issue, it's kind of an urban fantasy. It's a contemporary modern fantasy where we have cyborgs and magic and monsters, and it's really about the main character Nora. A little image here I'll pop up for you, and it's about her realizing her destiny and what she's supposed to do and how she gets there.
I had the opportunity to read issue 1 many moons ago. And I loved every bit of it. I had the opportunity to read issue 2, and man, it's awesome.
I've emailed you. I don't know if you've had a chance to yet, but I've actually emailed you all 7.
No, I did.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes, I wanted to read those after the interview because I didn't want to ask anything I wasn't supposed to ask or venture anywhere I wasn't supposed to venture. It's hard to do. I mean, it's hard not to with issue 2, knowing what happens. And it's my favorite thing is when I find people who have read it and we both can just get on like the same team, like screw DC. Like,
yeah, I know, man. I hear about that a lot.
So Nora is a really interesting protagonist. I really liked her character. Seeing her and Cherry like introduce one another during your exposition in issue 1 was, I thought, a really awesome way of doing it. Kind of like just like the back thought, the text messaging when they eventually met head to head, and then when they go out to the generator fields. And I will say with issue 2, it's like issue 1 you spent time building the world, and then issue 2 you spent time like burning that world.
a little bit, and it's one of my biggest regrets of these 2 issues is I really feel like we should have released this as like one large issue, because they're very interconnected, these 2 stories, even though they are like part 1, part 2, and obviously I'm very open about that. I really kind of wish that we went back and done this as like a giant-sized, double-sized issue, with 1 and 2 together, because you need them. But yeah, we set it up and then we knock it down.
Yeah, and I thought it was awesome. It was beautifully executed, and
within issue 1 and 2 here, like the volume, which what we're slowly working towards, really is this 7-issue volume. The volume is titled Cherry Wave, or Cherry Waves, which is first it's a Deftones song, but then also it's one of Cherry's moves, and it's what we deal with in issues 1 and 2 is this wave in the pond that really sets everything up through the whole story. So yeah, Cherry Waves is in issues 1 and 2 is the setup for everything that we're going to do for the next 3 or 4 volumes.
So what type of powers does Nora have? Like, she's not your typical paladin. She and I really think her character design is interesting too. I know we touched base upon this, but I do think it's kind of important to touch base a little bit more on it too, since we're here and we have the opportunity before we dive into the Kickstarter, to kind of flesh out Nora. So I really liked her character design too, because she is an amputee. She's missing both her limbs and an eye as well. And I thought it was interesting for her like position because, you know, as a paladin, she is sent to like hunt monsters and execute them.
Yeah, we had this idea that this group of heroes, because when we started this story, one of the influences, the early influences I had was, like, how can I tell a superhero story that is unlike your traditional superhero story, a fantasy superhero story? And that's what kind of got us in this idea of the Paladins as a superhero team, but really laying into the same tropes of that you get in superhero genre. So we have this team of people, but then I thought it'd be interesting if in order to become one of these people, you had to be injured, probably through an act of bravery or something like that, to earn your position in here. So like the entire roster of paladins, which we've only barely brushed on, even in the whole first volume, are all amputees or injured in some way. So they're all cyborgs. And that was our way of giving them superpowers or giving them abilities. And I just thought that was interesting to take these broken characters and make them these heroes.
So what about the Fire Knights, though? Are the Fire Knights the same way, or are they their own thing?
The Fire Knights is, Knights in particular, not really just Fire Knights, but the Knights are basically the police force.
Okay.
So you can have other Knights other than just Fire. We see Cherry, he's a Fire Knight. But they're your military police force, different, those people.
No, I gotcha. And one thing I really love about these comics is they're mostly black and white, unless there's like an emphasis on like Nora's like parts or like her abilities, Cherry's abilities. So I really like that because it gives you like a lot more oomph on that like emphasis for them.
Well, the rule that we're using is technology, magic, and blood. So the technology part of like Nora's legs, the red glow, the blue on Cherry's armor, for example, that stuff we're getting in color. And then magic, anything magic, we won't try and do color. And then blood, just because it has to be.
Reading your other comics, like you got a thing for it. I love it. I had a chance to read some of your other works, and like you have a knack for like misleading. Like it's almost like a kid's comic, and then it gets like graphic and gory. It's like, what? Like they just like drove their fingers through that dude's eyes. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that, like, that gory moment, that snatch of moment,
Well, that's
shock
so
value.
awesome. So let's go ahead while we're here. Let's pull up the Kickstarter for issue 2, go through it together, and kind of deep dive what we're campaigning for. All right, so right here is the Kickstarter for Once Upon a Time in Xanatopia issue 2, a modern fantasy. The exciting conclusion to Edge of the World, nothing will ever be the same. Currently sitting at $262 of $500 with 17 backers and 18 days to go. So only 12 days in and we're already halfway through. That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we have a pretty humble goal with it, because again, we're starting out from fresh. We've only been really advertising for 4 months or something like that. So we're just trying to slowly build our audience issue by issue. So
no, I like that too. And the book's already complete, right?
Yeah.
No, so no, there's no wait. As soon as you fund, like, how long will it take for you to get it to the printer?
So we've started the final edits probably yesterday or the day before. So a week worth of final editing. Send it to the printer. They're usually less than a month. So
that's so awesome.
So with any luck, within a couple weeks after this closes, we should be able to deliver.
Yeah, dude, that's fast. That is fast. Let's go ahead and check out this video, and then we'll be dropping into the rest of the campaign.
Absolutely.
I love this little like chibi-esque type of character design. This is so awesome. It like fit perfect with the lo-fi music.
Dude, and in the email I sent you, and I'm really excited to share it more. We're doing one of these pixel videos for every issue.
Okay.
to have this one like master advertisement video in the end. It's gonna be like one scene from every issue.
That's so cool.
So they're working on the 4th one now, which I think you've seen it, the jellyfish. So that's the scene that we're using, the big jellyfish scene. And
that's so cool.
I don't think this one had the 3rd one in it, but yeah, man, I'm so pumped. It's such a cool job. It's fun to see.
So the project itself, Once Upon a Time in Xanatopia, was inspired by classic samurai movies and JRPG video games. It's a contemporary science fiction fantasy about a paladin named Nora that gets thrown into the machinations of gods and humans. Did I say that right?
Machinations.
Machinations. I knew that was off.
I'm also from Appalachia, dude. I don't know. I might have said it wrong too.
In issue 2, what seems at first to be just another adventure of Cherry and Nora quickly gets out of hand as the duo are surrounded by tentacled subterranean eye-covered monsters, and this thing was insane. I loved how you set up issue number 1. Like they're ready and eager to kill, and then they're surrounded by all these monsters, and then they realize it's just tentacles for one huge creature, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So last time on Once Upon a Time in Xanatopia issue 1 recap, so we can watch this as well if you want.
That's up to you. That is you. So.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. We'll check it out. Once Upon a Time in Xanatopia, The Edge of the World Part 1. We begin with Paladin 55187, aka Nora Van Gogh, having a rather grotesque nightmare before waking up and realizing it was all just a dream. Laying in bed, we see her receive messages from the door generator service prompting her for her next mission, and after putting on her legs and her eye-in, we see the text exchange between her and her longtime friend Cherry before setting out to meet him and his family. It's here we see her reflecting on how it's possible to be so full of excitement while also full of dread. And even though they didn't exactly separate on the best of terms, almost all of that is washed away as soon as Cherry greets Nora at the door with one big embrace. After saying their goodbyes to his family, we find them on their way to their mission, and on the drive we see Nora reflecting on what parts of Cherry's outlandish story was true, and it's here that we learn that he was recruited into the Jury of Fire, and when Nora became a paladin, she chose him as her studying
squire.
how to make that scrolling effect, and I was so proud when I was able to do it because it was hard for me to figure out, and once I got it, I was like,
they begin searching for what's causing the disruption. The pair begin small talk of Freya to his wife, but something just isn't right. Something just doesn't make sense. Where is the target? Something reaches up and grabs Cherry, but it's far too late.
And that shaking effect too, that was...
and they both are quickly outmatched by so many different monsters, or so it seems, and it looks like these two are going to have their hands full.
Boom, baby. That end too, you know, so the worst part about that was like trying to come up with like something that was going to be catchy at the end. I was like, oh my God.
No, man, you killed it. You knocked it out of the park. That was so cool. And I think more people should do that with their Kickstarters, you know, when they're up in the later issues. I think it'd be a great service for you to do for people.
No, yeah.
These recaps, because it's awesome. Yeah, it was. Then there's the actual comic page recap.
Nora loves waffles with ice cream on them. And then right here is the Kickstarter link for everyone watching. Be sure to check this out with us if you're unable to back. Even just sharing it on Facebook or Twitter helps a lot. Word of mouth is 100% free, and you might have a friend who's going to love this comic.
Absolutely.
I love this image right here too. This is so cool having them back to back like this.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so like just impressed with the work that David Swanson did in this issue. He also did issue 3, and he kills it the whole time. I mean, he has a cool style that just fits everything. I'm excited to to really push like his issue.
Mm-hmm. I love this too. Like this humor is like persistent throughout like all your comics. It feels like rule number 1 in monster slaying: strike first, and it's him like smacking his face on the ground.
Yeah.
And then here's that effect we were talking about too, where the magic and the technology is colored, and everything else is like black and white.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one that we've got a lot of comments on, about people really liking that, and last time I think we talked about it, was sort of it was a happy mistake. We were trying to be cheap.
Mm-hmm.
What we were actually trying to do, but I think we ended up with a really cool effect and a very unique effect. So,
we didn't see the sword in issue 1, did we?
No, I don't think you did actually. I think that actually is the first time I think we see the sword.
So how does she create this?
All right. So Nora's specialty is light magic, and she can harden light. One of the big influences with that is like Green Lantern. I'm a big Green Lantern fan. But what she can do is she can take light particles, light around her, and condense it. She can like suck it in, condense it, and turn it into a hardened object. she's not as versatile as say a Green Lantern. She can make a sword and a knife.
Yeah, yeah.
And a shield. That's all she can do with it. But that's her main ability. Then she has the legs, which has a few little items that they can do too.
And then here's Cherry using Cherry Wave as well. I love this attack.
Which again is a great Deftone song.
Mm-hmm. So what's been said about issue number 2? So let's go ahead. We'll check this out. From Geek Culture Reviews, this time out, we're thrown back into the action as Nora and Cherry battle the creatures that have infested the field. The whole issue is a well-presented display of combat as Horn and artist David Swanson show us what their characters do best. The artwork is truly what makes this issue flow. While Horn gives plenty of time to further develop the mindset of his characters, it's Swanson's that has free range in this chapter. Each page is a beautiful rendition of chaos as the two vastly outnumbered paladins attempt to fulfill their contract.
And I love that, man. The display of chaos. They've been very kind to us.
And then right here is Indie Comic Dispatch, score out of 5. Getting good marks across the board, it looks like, man.
Yeah. I have to say we've gotten really good reviews with everything so far. We're very proud of it, and the people that have read it seem to really like it. So now we just have to get it out there and get some people to read it.
So here is cover A, and I love this close-up of Cherry. I really just think this is such an awesome design.
Yeah. He again, that's David Swanson, and he did a fantastic job. Again, there's also a lot of leading into the future in that cover. I was really scared to use it at first.
Oh, this one?
I actually felt like it was a little bit like too deep.
I don't think people would catch it unless they knew about the further issues, because I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know, because you're the one who created the current issues right now. But I remember some distinct parts. So.
Yeah.
And then right here is a nice little cover B by Brendan.
Yeah, who just murdered it also, man. I love his style.
Yeah.
His style is so cool. And he's done 2 covers for us. He's done this one, and he's done one for issue 4. And it's also amazing.
That's
so I was really, really proud to get him on this project to do a couple covers. And if you like him, check out his book.
I wanted to get it so bad. I really did.
Awesome.
That was one that I didn't have a chance to order, but it's on my to get list. I had a chance to read it, and I loved every bit of it.
Yeah, it's a blast.
And right here is cover C. So this one's gorgeous too. I really like this this like effect on this character effect. You know what I mean? Like this retro like type vibe.
Yeah. And then that's from the video. We just took it straight from the video, and because I thought it was just so cool. It was a very unique and interesting cover that I haven't seen many pixel covers. So.
And then here are some of the rewards. So are all these tiers going to coincide with the ones on the side?
They should. I think there's an extra 1 or 2 on the side, but they're like comic book shop bundles. It's kind of bigger stuff.
All right. So we have the digital version of issue 2 for $4, the digital catch-up PDFs of issue 1 and 2 for $7. We have PDFs and physical versions of issue 2 for $10, and that includes all covers. So cover A, B, and C. I think that's awesome, including the variants the same price as the regular.
Yeah, because the first time I wasn't really sure how that was going to work with my printer, and I was able to work it out. So I can print them for the same cost. So that was just one of those. Like, I'd be a dick if I actually,
Everyone else is listening like, shut up, DC.
Sorry, man. Sorry. Let's talk to your printer.
Full catch up, so you can physically get the prints of issue 1 and 2, any cover, as well as the PDFs for $15. And these are all gorgeous covers. Yeah, I was actually fortunate enough to get all 3 of these. Thank you for that. With the prints, and man, these are all gorgeous.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they did a great job.
I love the Magic Dad right here too, on the license plate. And then let's just scroll down just to make sure.
Yeah, I think all that's left is there's like a collector's bundle.
Yeah, right here we have a collector's bundle for 15, which is a physical print of issue 2, cover A, B, and C. That's still a really awesome price too. Holy crap!
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. And yeah, the comic shop bundle, and then we added because one person that did back the campaign, they asked if they could do an issue 1 and 2 comic book shop bundle. So I had to add that one later on. I thought that was a clever idea. I don't know why I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and the super fan bundle as well. So you get a T-shirt with any cover.
I've kind of forgot about that. I need to make a note. I forgot about that.
He's like, scrub it out, Cody, scrub it out.
Oh shit. No, actually we have a Teespring store, so that's where we do all the t-shirts, and so actually we have the shirts of the first covers on our Teespring store.
Oh, that's cool. And for $25, that's outstanding price because you get the physical copy as well.
Yeah.
So then we have pledge 40 or more. That's going to be the issue 1 and 2 comic shop bundle. And then 50 or more, you get a thank you in the credits. So you get a physical copy of issue 2, any cover, and then a thank you on the thank you and credit page.
Yep.
And that is the campaign. I really like this. Nice, short, sweet. It's to the point. Yeah.
Yeah, and I worry sometimes about Kickstarter swag because I haven't really done a lot of like stickers and different stuff like that. I also just feel kind of exhausted with it as a comic fan. I think it's really cool when I get it from people, and I think like when I got El Crudo was one, they had a bunch of extra stuff that was just sort of thrown in there. Probably it was like unlocked stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's really, really cool. But then at the same time, it's like, really, I want the comic book. So it's sort of it's cool, but
and I have so many stickers, and I have tons of stickers, and I want to use them, but I'm afraid to because you can only use them once, right? So it's like if I use it on the wrong thing, then it's gone. That's
my thing. Like I got a magnet for El Crudo, and I did put the magnet on the fridge. Like I have the stickers, I'm just holding them there because like I don't want to waste them. They're really cool stickers. They're just sitting there, but like I really should just go and put them on my laptop. But
so what's next for you? What's on the horizon for you? What's any neat little side projects or anything in the works?
Quite a few projects, but really what's next for me, and it's what I'm trying to figure out is marketing. Because I've watched, I try to watch your interviews as much as I can, and I've listened to a lot of people. And you always ask like for the advice at the end and different stuff. And I'm excited to hear that most people have been in this for years. And so when I look at someone like Brendan, he's been doing this for years, and he has a certain following, a certain audience. It's like, well, that makes sense. I've only been in this for a few months. So what I'm really trying to figure out is the marketing side. How do I get out of these echo chambers? On Twitter of just talking to creators only, or even on Global Comics, which I love, but you're just creators only. So I'm trying to figure out how to burst through these echo chambers. So I have hired a marketing team. I had a meeting with them this morning actually.
Ooh.
And that's some stuff we're really wanting to try and experiment with and kind of see what can we do to maximize reach an audience, create a better email list. And that's our big thing. I'm excited with that to announce that August the 31st, we were re-releasing Once Upon a Time in Xanatopia as a webcomic.
Okay.
So we've reformatted everything in the vertical style. We will be on the 3 major platforms: webcomics, webtoons, Tapas, and Global Comics. And we'll
how was that? Was that a difficult transition for you guys?
I can't speak for it because David Swanson did it all. So, I mean, it sounded like it was harder than we first thought. But I just went to him. I was like, hey, man, I have this idea. Can we do it? And he said, hey, let me think about it. And, yeah, probably. But so we have the first one done. We split each issue.
Did he redraw it, or was it just it
was just breaking it apart and relettering it for the most part. Because everything we had was a high-res images. We were able to break the images apart and make them bigger, make them fit the format better. It was mainly an issue of doing that and then just relettering it.
So what does doing this help? Does it help you reach a larger audience? What are you hoping to see?
I hope, and my original family was with Tapas. That's where I originally released a long time ago. Well, back in the beginning of the year. I'm excited to go back there, and I've never really messed with webtoons. I hear a lot of bad things from the creators and stuff, but the idea is I want to reach as many people as humanly possible. So even if you don't read the comic book, it's not on me. at least as far as like it's out there. Like it's going to be hopefully on my webpage, Global Comics. It's going to be on all these places that you have the availability. I want to reach everyone I can. And then we're breaking every issue into 3 sections with a bi-weekly release. And I've heard the argument that that's not necessary for webcomics to have these like broken releases. But for me, at least, it gives me something to talk about. So every week between this and I have questions and different stuff, every week I'm gonna have something I'm selling. I'm always going to be in the conversation somehow, some way. That's the plan. So when we start our actual marketing campaign, we're starting with, hey, a bi-weekly release. Here's the comic, and
So what type of chambers are you trying to break into? I mean, let me give you an example of what I done. Like, I wanted to break out of comics and get into indie games. Like, indie games has been a big focus for me. Like, and that, it was hard. I would put out like, hey guys, like hashtag indie game, like let me interview you. I've done like 100 interviews. I thought that would, I could do that hashtag for comics and have like 50 people be like, yo, like let me in. Not a single thing. My biggest thing is like hashtag, I looked up hashtag indie game and just followed every single person that like looked interesting or had a game that looked interesting and just started following them. And you'd be surprised. Like now I have a bunch of like indie people, like we're starting to work together, trying to get them on the show. So something like that, like I never really considered that, but even just like looking up the hashtag, I don't even know, maybe hashtags, whatever, sci-fi, hashtag horror comic, hashtag little cute cat killing people, like,
Yeah, and definitely and stuff. I gotta like keywords, work on keywords better. What I've noticed in the indie comic scene, and maybe I'm wrong because again I am kind of new to this, but like I remember the Comic Book Yeti had a poll out one time, and they were reaching out to their audience of like asking if their audience were creators or readers. And I don't remember the numbers, but like the majority, like a large majority, were creators. So like a huge part of the Comic Book Yeti's audience are people who would like to be interviewed by the Comic Book Yeti.
Yeah.
The same can be true about Global Comics. And again, I love Global Comics. I'm not. Everyone chill out.
I would say probably the same is true about me too. Now that I'm like sitting here like getting depressed thinking about it, like, oh my God, like probably like almost all my audience wants to get interviewed. Like,
dude, like I'm not to break your heart, but if I were guessing in the high 90s, your audience are creators. I'm one of them. I'm part of your audience and I'm a creator. So like, a lot of these echo chambers, I guess is what I mean is, the customer and the vendor are the same person. Like Global Comics, I think is brilliant that they figured out that their customers and the vendors are the same. So they realized that if we were really good to the creators, then we have a really good customer base too. So, as long as they're reading our comics, it's circular. So I've noticed these little things like on Twitter. I have a bunch of people I follow on Twitter and a bunch of people that follow me, but we're all creators. And there's one thing I've learned: creators do not support financially other creators. A little bit. It's kind of unfair to say, but I mean, that's not your audience. They're peers, they're allies, they're your friends. You need to network with them, but they're not an audience. So a lot of people seems like they like go up this echo chamber ladder. So like this is my small group of people that I'm communicating to. So I get a bigger network. Now I'm like in the next tier and another tier and another tier. Which I think is perfectly fine. I'm not knocking that, but I'm hoping to find a way for more of a business aspect of how can we break through this and go straight to the audience.
Maybe at the end of your comics have, follow me here at boom.
I definitely need to do a better job at that. Yeah. So that's one of those things, at the end, we're going to have to like, hey, here's all my links. Here's the stuff. We got to fix our webpage, get it a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer. Yeah.
No, because that is a very big thing, and if you can like bridge that gap, that's you unlimited power, right? Like,
oh, absolutely. Well, like the meeting I had this morning, when we were talking about stuff, and they were like, hey, we can do this ad campaign for the Kickstarter, but the problem is, and this is just the truth, is it's harder to get people to buy something that they don't know about, and they don't care about. So like maybe we need to advertise to your webpage. So that's we got into this whole like the bi-weekly release thing. Like if we're going to spend all this money on advertising, let's get people to advertise that it's free. Let's get it out there and let's build a base. We'll have 7 comics released. Let's just do it a grind, month after month after month. And then, when we get done with the first volume, hopefully that's going to be a moment where we can rip through it and have a very large Kickstarter campaign, with, a high agenda, but for now, it's just, there's this business philosophy. It's bullets before cannons. So the idea is before you blow a cannon out, so you fire your gun, fire bullets first and figure out where you're supposed to shoot it to start with.
No,
and
absolutely.
Once you figure it out, then you blow a hole through it. So right now we're firing bullets and we're just trying to hit, what's working? Where's the spot? Where can we hear the ding of the bullet?
And that's exactly what I've been doing with my merch. I got a bunch of merch printed out, shirts. I wanted
looks
the quality.
Great, by the way. Yeah, I saw that.
Thank you. I actually got a mannequin right there wearing one of them. But I wanted to make sure it was good because I didn't want it to be hey, buy my shirt. Someone goes buy my shirt, then my shirt's crap, and then they're like, okay, well, that I don't want to. He must have crap merch. If someone wants to buy my stuff, I'm honored. I don't want their first time experience to be that it's crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So before I put in a huge order, I'm talking 25, 50 shirts. That's a lot. That's a big number for me. That's insane. I never would have even thought that was feasible. Last year.
Oh yeah.
So before we wrap things up completely, though, what would you like to say to anyone that's on the fence about backing this campaign? We just got done taking a little bit of a deep dive into it. For anyone that is teetering, what would you say to them?
Oh man, read the reviews. It's a very well received, very well reviewed comic. From you've said great things about it. 3 sources on the campaign page, they talk about it. It's well reviewed. Give it a shot. Give it a try. The first one's free on Global Comics, so you can read.
So they can find that on Global Comics.
The first one is free. The second one is on Global Comics, but is behind a paywall. Okay. But so if you're a member of Global Comics, you can read it too.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's well reviewed. It's well received. I've heard nothing but good things about it. No. Hold $1.
Hell yeah, man. So let's finish this thing strong. As you know, we always like to ask a certain question in particular for anyone that is new, that is watching, because as much as this is a podcast to help promote you and your book, it's also a nice learning tool for anyone new that might be watching. So for anyone that's watching, and let's say they're struggling getting that second issue out, getting a follow-up to their first, what type of advice would you offer them to kind of help them get going with the continuation of their story? Or anything that would help them in terms of writing?
For a second one to a first one, specifically for that, dude, I really, really recommend writing and planning 5-6 issues in advance. It really, really helps. I can't imagine anyone writing a comic literally one issue, a sequential comic book, an issue at a time. That would blow my mind. I'd imagine if you're trying to do a second issue, you best actually have your 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th ready. Okay. Mentally, at the very least. That would be my advice on that one. But again, I'm a small fish in a huge pond.
No, that does seem like it would be a little bit easier to the formula instead of trying to come up with a whole new storyline to fit and mesh. Having a pre-existing storyline to feed off of.
Yeah, I'm promoting issue 2, but issue 7 is almost complete, and I'm writing volume 2, issue 8 in the process. So that's how far I'm ahead.
Yeah. So. No, is it hard for you to kind of keep it all under wraps? Do you ever find yourself wanting to just release it all, just to get it out there?
Holy crap. It's really why I started the Hawaii Have Questions thing, because I knew I was going to have to force myself to not do anything for 2 months. And I needed an outlet for some content. So yeah, it's killed me. It's killed me the whole time trying to figure out how to not throw everything out there and be okay, I'm done. I have nothing to talk about for the rest of my life. It's been so hard holding everything in my pocket, but I think we have a plan now.
And I think we have questions too, right?
yes, we do. Coming out next Wednesday, and we are interviewing what's the comic? Wanderlust, which is amazing. I really do recommend anyone to read that. It's a really cool comic on Global Comics. It's free. Wanderlust. Check it out.
No, that is awesome. So where can everyone find you? What social media platforms are you active on?
I'm mainly active on Twitter. I do have an Instagram. I think everything I have is ZanCon ENT. Our webpage is zancononline.com. It's a work in progress, but it's up there. You can actually buy the first issue on the webpage. It's available. Yeah, those are our socials. Pretty simple.
Well, that is awesome. DC, I appreciate you coming on, hanging out with us and breaking this down. This is such an awesome chat, and it's so crazy to reflect on how much has changed since we first had you on. It's been like 120 episodes almost, right?
Yeah, dude, you are any comic royalty at this point. So I'm really excited because I know you've been working on you've been talking about working on a comic at the very least. So
I've been really working on it. I just been keeping it under the covers.
Yeah, and I'll leave it at that. I won't say, but I'm really excited to see where it go with that. And 100%, man, I'll support you. I got you back. So
yeah, let's go. Well, you guys out there, be sure to support this and check it out in the comments right now. I'm putting the link right here. Check out this Kickstarter. If you're unable to back it, be sure to share it on Facebook and Twitter. Word of mouth is 100% free. And you might know someone who's going to love this campaign. We are going to be wrapping things up. It is a beautiful Tuesday night. Tomorrow is New Comic Book Day. Treat yourself to this comic book. DC, I hope you have an awesome time as well. Everyone watching, have a beautiful night. But most importantly, keep it geekly.